Welcome back to Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover. Now, please be joined by the new baseball coach of the University of Alabama, Rob Vaughn. And Rob, roll tide. What's it been like the last 24 hours here in Tuscaloosa?
Ooh, I tell you what, it's been like drinking out of a fire hose right now. But it's been awesome. The people have been incredible. Everybody's been very open, honest, very friendly, helping us out. So it's been good. Been able to meet with the current players, which has been important, and get to know them a little bit and starting to build those relationships. So getting ready to get to work.
A lot of success for you at the University of Maryland. What attracted you to Alabama?
Tell you what, honestly, it's the people. From that first conversation I had with Greg, I knew he was different, and I knew he was real, he was authentic, he was open, and that started. And then I'll be honest with you, that 2023 team and what JJ and his staff did, I said, man, those are my type of people. Their culture's good, they play hard, they're gritty, they're tough. They just walked through the fire and came out the other end and are really paving the road. So I was really fired up to get here, and I'd say those things made this place really exciting for me.
What was it like getting to know Jason Jackson? Why was it important to keep him on this staff and now be the associate head coach?
It's funny. I actually, when I was the head coach of Maryland, I was looking for a pitching coach. I ended up hiring Corey Mascara, who's down at Wake Forest now, but I asked Chris Hart, one of my friends down at NC State, I said, Chris, I need a list of some really good pitching coaches. He said, well, Jason Jackson's the best one you're going to find, but he ain't coming to Maryland. And so Jason and I never really interacted there. And then, over the course of the last few weeks, we were able to connect. And obviously from afar, I was able to watch what he did and how he did things and knew he was special. And then you get on the phone with him, you find out why. I watched press conferences after Hoover, trying to get to know him, and he loves his players, and that comes through very clearly. He loves them. He cares about them on a deeper level than what they can do on the field. And I knew a guy like him, of his caliber, elite-level pitching coach. But I tell you what, that guy believes what I believe, and it was a no-brainer to try to do whatever we could to keep JJ part of what we're doing here.
You're a player at Kansas State, obviously some time at Maryland. Who have been some of the most impactful people on your baseball journey to where you are now at Alabama?
I think the first one is a guy named Andy Sawyers. He's the head coach at Southeast Missouri State. I'm not in coaching if it's not for him. He came in my senior year of college at Kansas State and was our hitting coach and loved us, challenged us, pushed us, believed in us, and told me, hey, Rob, you're going to coach one day. And at the same time, I'm sitting in my engineering class. I'm like, no. At the time, I'm going to be a big leaguer. I'm not doing this coaching thing. And he said, look, go play for a couple of years. When you're done, come back. And I did. And I called him about a year and a half in and said, hey, Coach, you got a position. I'm ready to come back. And, then John Sheff gave me an opportunity. I was 25, probably not prepared to go be a recruiting coordinator, and he tossed me the keys and said, go do it, and believed in me when not many people did. And so those two guys just really paved the road for me as I get here. And then there's too many players to name. I mean, we are who we are because of the kids we get to coach every day. And I've coached some really, really special ones in my day. And, again, too many to probably to name here, but they're littered with special people and really talented players along the way.
So now as a head coach at Alabama, what do you want this program to be built on?
I mean, there's two things you're going to hear us talk about all the time, and that's culture and development, is building a culture that's real. I think a lot of people throw around that word very easily, but we're going to love each other. We're going to care about each other. We're going to play for each other. We're going to build these young people into unbelievable husbands and fathers one day, and we're going to help them become leaders. And that's one thing that I think, I've seen it kind of around town, where legends are made. I've seen that 100 times walking around town, and I tell you what, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to build those things, and we're going to help these kids see what they're capable of. That's what Coach Sawyers did for me back in 2009, and that's what I want to do for these kids. And I tell you what, I'm excited to get started on it.
I know you're a big college football fan. We'll let you go on this. What was it like getting to meet Coach Saban for the first time, and how fired up are you for being in Bryant-Denny Stadium for some football games this year, showing off Alabama to some recruits?
Oh, good gracious. I know Greg came in, he grabbed me, he said, hey, we're going to go meet the football coach. And I have a hat on. I'm like about to pass out, and Coach Saban was awesome. I mean, just was very impressive, super opening. He basically told me, anything I can do to help, come see me. If there's anything I can do for recruiting, come let me help you. Just was open, was great. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I've stopped shaking since I walked out of his office. That's one of the legends, not of college coaching, but of any coach of all time. And to get to meet him and kind of come to the grips that we're going to be working alongside each other is not hit me yet. So excited to do that, excited to get out to some football games this fall and see what it's all about down here.
Well, we're excited to hear it. Coach Vaughn, thank you so much for joining us. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.